Investment Consultant brings you Garage Logic podcast number 1577, July 10th, 2025. 106 degrees was the record high on this day. That was in 1936. And as chilly as 49 degrees on two occasions, 1945 and 1996. Call Josh Arnold at 952-925-5608 for a free 48-minute consultation.
Hail the flashlight king.
Hail you! And now, from the mayor's office above the boathouse on the east shore of Spoon Lake, it's Garage Logic with Chris Reavers manning Technology Corner, Kenny Olson from the Krabby Coffee Shop, John Heidt in the newsroom, and of course, the rookie. Here is your flashlight king, fireworks commissioner, and the keeper of common sense, your mayor, Joe Sushi.
You know, we missed something yesterday. Mark picked it up, Mark McGrath. I wish we would have picked it up. You'll recall that we had this young fellow testifying that his cloud seeding company was seeding a couple of days before the flood in Texas.
Yeah.
And this fellow writes, not sure if I heard this right, but the cloud seeder appeared to have made an extraordinary effort to say that rain was not the result of his seeding. That would lead me to believe his product is no good and don't hire him. Damned if you do and damned if you don't kind of situation. What a great point. The guy might as well have said, hey, not us. It doesn't, what we do doesn't work.
Would you like to hear from him?
Do you have that?
I found audio. This is the CEO of Rainmaker. He admits, I'm trying to find his name.
Well,
I think he has it in this clip, but it's only 45 seconds long.
The question is whether or not Rainmaker, cloud seeding on July 2nd, contributed to storms that occurred on July 4th. Did it enhance? Did it intensify what we saw some 36 to 48 hours later?
Unequivocally, our cloud seeding operations on July 2nd did not impact the flooding that occurred later. And that said, my heart and prayers are still with all the people of Texas and all the families that have been affected. It was a tragedy. But in cloud seeding on the 2nd, one, we are regulated by the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation, and we have what are called suspension criteria, where if there are National Weather Service flash flood warnings or severe storm warnings, then we cannot operate in those areas per the restrictions and regulations we have. Our meteorologists actually proactively suspended operations a day before the National Weather Service issued a flash flood warning, so we were ahead of the curve.
So that makes sense to me, Joe.
Yeah,
Really?
no, I'm buying the idea.
They stopped it before.
Yeah, but I do like the idea that he says, no, we don't. We didn't cause any rain. We don't.
I don't find that amusing at all. I
Well,
think
nothing's amusing about this. I mean, there's still missing kids. I don't offer it as amusing. It's just kind of funny that a guy would say, our company, we're seeders, but
Joe,
we sure as hell didn't produce anything.
Wouldn't you assume that cloud seeding only works when you're seeding or directly thereafter, not 2 days later? It's not like fertilizing a field.
Oh, I understand, but they did seed.
So, may I ask a dumb question?
Why are we arguing about this?
I don't think we are, but here's my question. What the hell are we doing this for then?
Seeding?
What's the point?
Chris, I like your angle.
You're on my team or I'm on yours. I don't want to mess with nature.
Hey, it didn't lead to any rain. Well, then what the F are you doing it for?
You know what? We're going to keep trying.
Right. I mean,
leave your iodine out of the clouds or whatever you use.
Right on.
Iodide. I think it was iodide, whatever the hell that is.
This sounds like one of those subjects where we're pretty much just rambling and we know
we probably
absolutely
shouldn't
nothing.
be.
Stay in our lane.
You know what? I don't even know what our lane is anymore.
Yeah,
I'm wandering all over the road.
We're sitting in the knack hardware BS, and that's what our lane is.
I think I know what our lane is. Our lane sounds a little something like this.
Didn't have tornadoes here until we started putting into traffic circles.
Yep.
Because on the kind of, you want to know why? That when people go round and round in circles, it causes disturbance in the atmosphere and causes tornadoes.
That's our lane.
I want that played at my funeral. Joe doesn't want any words. He just wants you to hear this.
On account of, you want to know.
On account of, you want to know why?
Yeah, so when families put together the nice video montage of
forget
photos,
it. Just play this guy.
but with the photos of the family and you growing up, have that as the bed underneath.
That's right.
Just on a loop.
Didn't have tornadoes around here.
Tornadoes.
Do you realize that ICE picked up 11 illegal alien sex offenders in Minneapolis?
Yeah.
Didn't somebody recently refer to ICE in this state as the Gestapo?
I think that was our gov.
Huh.
I'll get to him in a moment. Immigration and Customs Enforcement arrested 11 illegal aliens, all convicted of sex crimes, including some against children. This was in Minneapolis. I'm getting this from Breitbart, but I believe the local news gatherers had versions of this story, correct?
Yes, sir.
These pedophiles and sex... See, we're going to arrest these guys, the Epstein pedophiles. We don't want to worry about them. These pedophiles and sex offenders are the sickos our brave ICE law enforcement are putting their lives on the line to arrest and remove from American communities, Department of Homeland Security Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin said. Among the 11 illegals arrested by ICE between June 6 and June 11 are Pao Angelo Vang and Thong Lao, 2 illegal aliens from Laos who have been convicted of second-degree sexual assault of a child. Likewise, ICE agents arrested Tao Pao Lee and Yi She, illegal aliens from Thailand. Lee has been convicted of soliciting a minor, and Shea has been convicted of first-degree sexual abuse of a minor. So did they arrest these guys while these guys were in jail? Or were these guys roaming the streets free even though they've been convicted of sex crimes?
That was my question, too. Why, if they were convicted, were they?
7 other illegal aliens from Laos were arrested. Mother of God. Walz and his fellow sanctuary politicians are fighting to keep these sex offenders and other criminal illegal aliens in our country, McLaughlin said. Instead of comparing ICE to the Nazi Gestapo, Walz should be thanking our law enforcement for removing these pedophiles from Minnesota. Okay, I'm going to thank them. Thank you. ICE officials said 70% of the agency's arrests are criminal illegal aliens with convictions or pending charges against them at the time they are arrested. Officials noted that many illegal aliens classified as non-criminals may not have rap sheets in the U.S., but they often do in their home countries. This suggests to me... See, if they were taken from jail, you would have written they were taken from jail.
Right.
They were arrested. They were out on the street.
And if they're committed a sex crime, it's a shocker that they weren't working for the government like the other guy was.
Oh, Chris, low blow.
Sorry.
Jeez, was that cruel?
Well,
Which other guy?
the guy we talked about at the beginning of the week and last week in your absence.
Yeah.
Oh, the guy that got the gig at the Minnesota
Department of Education. Yeah.
We have loose hiring practices.
Well, they're changing that.
Screw those background checks.
Don't worry about what's happened in the past.
I do
it's
see
better
they're,
now.
I do see they're tightening them up.
It's
We wanna
better
look
now.
forward. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about the hiring practices. The Department of Human Services is updating its hiring justification policy. By the way, if you ever want to have fun, although I use the word loosely, go to the Department of Human Services website.
No. I know.
I'm there right now.
Well, just read the holiday rules. That one intrigued me. Today I was looking it up, not holiday rules. I was looking up their website, and I came across holiday rules. So I read it just for the fun of it. They got it down. They got it down. You can't peek above your partition. Nothing should be seen above your partition because that could offend someone else. And the thing is, if you ever want to, if you're killing 5 minutes.
What do you mean you can't?
Well, you got to read it. It's they're very strict on their holiday rules.
You can't pull a Kilroy above the.
That's kind of what it reminded me of. Yeah. So
No, you know what it is? It's like this.
God Hello.
Thank you for calling Euphoria's Panorama Quantum
Thank
Hotline.
you. That's enough. Thank
But
you.
isn't that exactly what it's like?
Exactly. But I said look up the website. I don't want to call them.
Oh.
Department of Human
Sorry,
Services is updating its hiring justification policy, which this is from Alpha. But this, I think, is making national news, which requires it to justify whenever it hires a non-underrepresented candidate for a job where underrepresentation exists. You follow me so far?
Yes.
An affirmative action hiring policy at the Department of Human Services is the subject of new scrutiny after Alpha News publicized details of the policy. What do we do without Alpha,
Gotcha.
American Experiment?
They're doing a gotcha.
According to the documents, the agency is updating its hiring justification policy. Okay. There's Alpha reported on a DHS memo which describes how the agency's new policy on this matter will be updated next month. The memo details how DHS will handle so-called hiring justifications. Hiring supervisors must provide a hiring justification when seeking to hire a non-underrepresented candidate. In other words, a white person.
A non-underrepresented candidate.
Well, isn't that reasonable to think?
Yes.
A white person. They're going to consider anyone who's not white to be underrepresented. Is that fair?
I would say that's fair.
That's the appearance, yeah.
All right.
I'd say that.
Hiring supervisors must provide justification when seeking to hire a non-underrepresented candidate when hiring for a vacancy in a job category with underrepresentation. Mm-hmm. Hiring justification must be submitted to and approved by the department's Equal Opportunity and Access Division. They have an acronym, EOD.
EO'd.
Yeah.
Did you get EO'd today?
According to the memo, underrepresented means the representation of one or more protected groups is below the group's availability. Let's try to parse that. What does that mean?
Break it on down.
According to the memo, underrepresented means the representation of one or more protected groups. So in other words, if there's not enough non-white people below the group's availability, you got to hire the non-white person.
Ooh.
Or you have to justify the hiring of the white person. That's flat-out racism.
That's a danger zone.
Well, it's flat-out racism. Yeah. Turn the language around.
Wait a minute. Say that all again. If you don't... What now?
Which paragraph do you want?
The very last. If you don't
According to the memo, underrepresented means the representation of one or more protected groups is below the group's availability. So if there's room in your department for 2 hires and you don't have enough underrepresented people, it sounds to me like you better look at underrepresented people first.
Before you bring in a cracker.
You gotta justify the cracker. The cracker better be pretty good at what he or she does, maybe to get past the justification.
Oh.
The memo defines protected groups as females, people with disabilities, members of Black, Hispanic, Asian, Pacific Islander, American Indian, Alaskan Native. The memo also includes a reminder about failure to comply. Employees may be subject to disciplinary action up to and including termination for failure to comply with policies. But to my knowledge, not one soul has been fired for any of the fraud connections.
Why females?
They're apparently underrepresented.
Oh, okay.
But turn the language around. What if this said, where is it here? What if this said, hiring supervisors must provide a hiring justification when seeking to hire a non-white candidate when a hiring vacancy is available?
That's your own language.
Right? But that's what it's saying. It's racism. This is flat out racism.
It seems to me that, yeah, you're right there. That's the impression I'm getting anyway.
Well, you want to hire...
I'm trying not to get that impression, but
You want to hire a black
it.
person? Oh, no. You better see if you got enough whites. That's what it's saying.
Yeah. Which might have been the case in this country for a long time.
Yeah, but it isn't today.
Are we sure of that?
No.
I mean, that's something we could actually talk about.
But I do love the fact that for this, you can really get your hands slapped, your ass kicked, and get fired if you don't do this. But in the meantime, keep writing those checks to the fraudsters.
There you go. Kids got to eat.
Is there anything in there about hire the most qualified candidate no matter who or what they are?
No.
Kenny, you're such a
that's
old
absurd.
relic.
That's absurd, isn't it?
You're sweetly naive.
Yeah, I just want the best candidate for the job. I don't care if they have 3 legs and 14 boobs. Get them in there.
The
hire the one with 14 boobs, please.
State lawmakers have got wind of this because Alpha posted the screenshots of these paragraphs. And Walter Hudson, for example, a Republican from Albertville, says this is explicitly racist and likely violates constitutional protections. Senate Minority Leader Mark Johnson from East Grand Forks, a Republican, said this is DEI on steroids. No one should face discrimination or extra hurdles to obtain a job because of their skin color, gender, orientation. Government must hire the best candidate based on character, experience, and merits, he said. How come no Democrats object to this? Wouldn't they be as opposed to racism as anybody else?
They're falling in line.
Well, I mean, any reasonable soul should be opposed to this. It's
think.
flat out racism.
You'd think, yeah, if they want to lead by example, set the example for the rest of us, that's what they would do. They would hire the most qualified candidate no matter what.
Assistant U.S. Attorney General Harmeet Dillon simply stated, not legal. DHS has had this policy requirement in place since 2002 and has issued an update to the policy effective Aug 12, 2025. Justification of non-affirmative action hires has been a requirement since 1987. Current law requires agencies that fail to meet their affirmative action goals to explain their reasoning whenever they make a non-affirmative action hire. Further, DHS explained that the update to the hiring policy was issued to match the agency's current policy template and to clarify roles and responsibilities. It's flat out racist if you turn the language around.
Why can't they see that? Because Democrats just don't want to see
Hiring supervisors must provide a hiring justification when seeking to hire a black candidate when hiring for a vacancy job candidate. That's racist.
Hey, how good are you on the computer? I don't care what color you are. I'm really
What do you
good.
do?
You're hired.
What do you do when you have 3 vastly, I'll use the word diverse candidates, and they all have the exact same qualifications and background skills? Who do you hire then? I would not want to be the person making that decision.
I'd fire 3 deadbeats and bring these on board.
Yeah, if it's that's a convenient way out of the question.
But it's a pretty good answer.
Yeah.
I'd trim some of my bad wood and bring these 3 people on board.
I don't know what I would do
to make up for hiring the 3 that you hired that weren't qualified.
Yeah. I only need 1. I don't know what you do. That's why I do traffic in the morning, because I don't know. I know that we have 3 closures this weekend. That's enough for my brain.
The DFL is the most racist body in the country.
No question.
Well, maybe the Ku Klux Klan.
Right behind. A close
Which
second.
I think was founded by Democrats, so it all evens out in the end.
But I mean, you should also add to that they claim that they're not, and that they're leading the way against the fight against racism.
This, again, just makes people less than, which is a specialty of Democrats.
Yep.
and I'll take it out of there. And I know I've been pounding on this, and you're probably sick of me saying it, but it's the same with raising the price on flavored smokable cigarettes, cigars, whatnot, and menthol cigarettes. To me, that stinks of racism. To me,
of course it does. We can't trust that you'll pick the right cigarette, so we're going to limit your choices.
Yeah.
We don't think you should smoke, so we're really going to make it difficult for you to buy the cigarette you actually enjoy.
Yeah, so meanwhile, why don't you buy what Cracker Bill buys, the Marlboro Reds in a hard pack for $12 a pack?
Because the customer wants Newports.
Yeah.
And we can't allow that.
I don't know what's going on here, Joe.
Sheesh. I do. It's Minnesota, the most poorly run state in the country, with the worst governor in the history of the state. Hands bleeping down. The worst. Is your garage door in bad shape?
Huh? Like our state?
Like our state? Is it tattered? Is it frayed at the edges?
Yeah, we need a good...
Want a new garage door? Get a hold of Precision Door. Precision Door, Minnesota. They serve western Wisconsin, the entire metro. Yes, of course, they take care of routine day-to-day garage door repairs, but in the event you need a new garage door, they send out a designer. The consultation is free, of course. You can pick from models for every budget, and right now there's a special offer for GLers. Receive $100 off a single garage door and $200 off a double door. That makes sense, isn't it? See,
that's a good deal.
A double door is two single doors, so you 100 each, you get 200 off.
I think I did the math on that.
You can book online at Precision Door MN, one word, precisiondoormn.com, or call Precision Door at 612-263-6985 and schedule your free on-site new door estimate.
Reavers here once again for my guy, Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Does thinking about retirement make you uncomfortable? Well, sometimes the anxiety from wondering if you've saved enough can be overwhelming. But what if I told you that you could ease those tensions in just 48 minutes? Well, Mr. Money Talk is going to be able to sit down with you and get you on the right track for your financial future. Josh has navigated it all when it comes to uncertain market and economic conditions, and he'll always provide straight talk, never sugar-coated advice on how to reach the finish line with your retirement goals. Don't let your financial worries give you an ulcer or keep you from calling Josh right now. His 48-minute, no-obligation consultation could be just what you need to feel better about your future. Call Josh today at 952-925-5608 and set up your free 48-minute, no-obligation consultation. That's 952-925-5608.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice.
Chris Reavers is a paid endorser. All right.
It's the end of the world as we know it, and he feels fine. Joe Sushi.
What are those? Are they reels on Facebook? The really quick ones where they're only 10 seconds?
Yep.
I noticed Seafoam is preaching the gospel of the Seafoam Marine Pro this week, the way I have. And they're on the right track. It's the middle of boating season, and Marine Pro is your best friend. Don't just use this stuff occasionally. Use it all season long. Put a little bit in every tank of gas that you throw into that. I don't care if it's a 3-horse Johnson from the 60s or if it's a brand new 120-horse Yamaha. Your cylinders are going to love Marine Pro. It's what revived my POS pontoon. Well, actually, it's a 35-horse Evinrude. It's red, white, and blue. That means it's like a 76 or 77? Anyway, she smokes like a Pink Floyd concert. Until I put in this Marine Pro. And then, a few minutes later, I let it sit there and chug. She came back around, the carb cleaned itself out, and boy, she purred all week long thanks to Seafoam Marine Pro. What does it do? Well, it works in all fuel systems, 2-stroke or 4-stroke. It lubricates critical marine engine areas. It stabilizes that fuel, so if you put it away with a few gallons left in the tank, it'll be good for you next spring. Use it in every single tank. It'll make it start faster, run smoother, and last longer. Seafoam Marine Pro. It's a wonderful product in a world of really old Evinrudes and, of course, junky gas.
Do you know what Yamaha's product logo is?
Yeah, don't give us the tuning fork story.
The tuning
again.
fork.
Yeah, we know, Joe.
Did I say that already?
Yeah, about 4 times a year.
It's not like you to repeat something on this show.
Did I tell you about that, though?
Were you staring at your Yamaha Zuma?
Anyway.
Yeah. With the tuning fork on it.
A tuning fork, you just...
Because they started as a piano manufacturer. They still manufacture pianos.
I wonder who said, I got
Guitars,
a crazy
too.
idea. Let's start scooters.
You know what our governor, God love him.
Do we?
He's not making any sense.
He's a governor only a God could love.
He is defending the $430,000 of our money.
How?
That he spent on a private law firm to prepare him to be questioned in Washington. Well, I started doing some thinking.
There you go.
He was a congressional representative from what? 2011 to 2019, I think. His second term as a governor. He served on endless committees when he was a rep, member of many caucuses. And you would think that he would know exactly what the procedure.
He knows the playbook.
He knows how it works. And then, so Hauser, God bless Hauser, last night.
House of Reps from 2007 to 2019.
To 2019. The lifer.
12 years, yeah.
And do you think he was ever involved in any subcommittee questioning? Of course he was.
Of course
he was on the
you have to
Agriculture Committee and many committees. So he knows perfectly well how it all works. And so now he's claiming this is how duplicitous Walz is. Hauser got to him last night and said, I'm paraphrasing Hauser, but I'm going to come close. Do you understand that taxpayers could be angry that you spent $450,000 of taxpayer money to hire lawyers for an appearance in Washington, D.C.? You know what Walzer was? Yeah, I don't blame him. They should be mad that I was called. That was his answer. He's laying the thing off. He's laying it off on the Trump administration. I shouldn't have been called for that dog and pony show. He didn't say that. I'm paraphrasing.
Do you want Tom's piece? I have it queued up, or do you not want to hear?
No, I'd love to hear it so you can see what Hauser was driving at.
All right, cue up Mr. Hauser.
He told me he agrees the amount is ridiculous, but he blames Republicans in Congress who invited him and 2 other Democratic governors to testify so they could be publicly criticized about immigration.
Do you all solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth?
That's enough. See, he's blaming Republicans, and he admits it was a ridiculous amount of money. And he knew he contends, I'm just going out there for their show. If that's true, if he believed that, why did you need any legal preparation?
Right.
Go out there and fold your arms. You know how it works.
Who else was called, and how much did that person spend?
Well, I can tell you, Pritzker from Illinois was called. He paid for it out of his own pocket. He hired some lawyers, too.
Oh,
I was just looking that up, Kenny. I had the same question.
That's a Democratic state, is it not?
Yeah, Pritzker's as bad as Walz, but apparently he's got more money.
Kathy Hochul was there.
Did she pay for her own lawyers?
That I do not know.
Pritzker, to his credit, he paid out of his pocket for his own lawyers. He's a billionaire.
Okay. Here is Governor Walz, by the way.
Minnesota legislature has passed no such bill making Minnesota a sanctuary state, and I have signed no such law.
Other than brief opening statements, the governors weren't given much time to respond. But Walz certainly should have been prepared. According to the Legislative Advisory Commission, the governor's office requested payment of $430,000 for legal services related to congressional hearing and testimony. In this memo first obtained by the Star Tribune, this transfer is to pay outside legal counsel for services rendered in preparation for the June 12th House Oversight Committee. Governor, can you understand why taxpayers might look at a $430,000 legal bill and think that that is excessive?
Yes, and they should be angry at those folks. There's no reason that we needed to be there. We provided all the documentation. We told them that.
Walz says the hearing was all about, quote, grandstanding, and he was given little time to respond to any question.
Do you agree with the Attorney General's guidance?
Congressman, what I would say on this is that Minnesota follows all law. I would say
it's a very easy question.
It's ridiculous. It's why we asked them to allow us not to have to be there. Certainly, I would tell you what, it's not where I wanted to spend money. It's not where I wanted to spend my time. And it certainly proved that there was nothing there other than using it as grandstanding.
Could you have used your own legal staff or the Attorney General's office at a much lower cost?
No, probably not. And they didn't have the expertise for this of what they were asking.
Now, there were also travel costs.
BS.
You know what would have been better?
Wait.
If Walz would have went, I am not going to sit here and let you pass
exactly
off the
what he
United
did.
States of America.
Wait a minute. And you know how I feel about this guy.
Oh, Kenny, no.
Was he wrong?
Yes.
So something actually came of those hearings, or was it in fact grandstanding and a big giant political gong show? What came out of those hearings?
Nothing.
So he's not wrong.
No. He knew it was going to be nothing. That's what he's contending. So then why did he pay $450,000 to prepare for it?
Spent the money.
But I think are you ignoring my point on purpose?
No, what's your
point? The whole
point?
hearing was a sham, was it not?
The hearing didn't...
Or doesn't that figure
okay,
in?
let's take that. But if the hearing was a sham, I'm prepared to agree with that. You don't need to pay $450,000.
I can't fight that. You're right.
You get on the airplane and you go out there and you go, look at these idiots are going to grill me about... I'm just going to sit there and I'll tell them what they want to hear, and bang, bang, boom. You don't need $450,000.
Right. His answers did not...
he deflected.
Give merit to $430,000.
He deflected. He's a professional. He deflected. Hauser said, do you think taxpayers should be angry? And he just instantly deflected. Said, you're absolutely right. He should be mad at those Republicans for forcing me into having to reach into the petty cash drawer and come up with $450,000.
Joe, this is why I and probably all of us hate everybody in Washington, because it was a big, giant, like he said, sham, a gong show. It served no purpose. And we're just getting, it's third
So we
rail
get
bullshit.
screwed either way.
Yeah.
Well, in fact, we got screwed twice.
Yeah.
The hearings were a waste of time, and it cost us $500 million.
Yeah.
Should he have at
no,
least...
I mean 500,000.
430.
Close enough.
Should he have at least been honest and said, well, this is taking away from my nationwide tour?
Yeah.
Instead of running the state of Minnesota.
How many sins does he have to commit before, at the very least, he's not taken seriously? I understand that he's not leaving.
In this state?
In fact, he'd probably run again.
And win.
But how can you possibly take this guy seriously? I just don't understand it. And Gov, you're welcome to come on the air anytime you want. Anytime you want. I'd love to talk. How much did he spend? $450?
$430. Let's be honest. Hey, let's be fair.
I looked up the law firm, G&L Gates. They've been in business since 1846. You think they're not powerful? They have offices practically in every country in the world. Did he think they weren't going to charge $516 an hour? And for what?
Wow.
For what? You know, let's go even deeper.
Oh, boy.
It's part of the machinery. Your law firm gets to a certain point, you're cut in on some of this BS.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not saying Walz stole $450,000. I'm not even saying the law firm did. But it's all part of the BS, how they all make money.
Are you saying that this is somehow going to translate to campaign contributions from a certain law firm? Is that what you're saying?
No, but now that you got me thinking about it, sure.
Because would it surprise any of us?
But Chris, if they were smart, they'd contribute to both parties, all parties.
I'm sure they do.
Sure, yeah,
Send money
right.
to everybody.
You're right. Yeah.
But once you get inside the machinery,
oh man,
your number comes up on the roulette. Way it's Gates' turn. They got to represent this buffoon in Minnesota. Charge them $500 an hour. Taxpayers don't care out there. They're stupid.
But if we, the people, us five, sit here, we know, the whole thing was a dog and pony show to start with.
Yeah.
Then we know our governor spent $430,000. What the hell do we do about it?
Right.
Yeah. That's a great question, John. What we do about it is come in here and wander around in our lane.
No, I'll tell you what we do. We, as a state, reelect him. I mean, the headlines 2 days ago, 3 days ago weren't wrong. If he runs again, he'll win.
Well, how about the people that called the Dog and Pony Show? Do they get reelected where they are?
Sure,
You know,
of course they do.
And Comer, it was Comer's, deal. He's well known for his Dog and Pony
We
show.
should change the direction
Cornyn,
of this show.
I think you mean.
Joe,
No, I mean Comer.
Oh.
C-O-N-E-R.
The direction of this show should be British cars and zip ties and bungee cords. I mean, seriously. This is so frustrating.
If Walz isn't a crook, he just acts like one every day.
There was a great clip surfaced by an account that I follow and a loyal listener to the show. It's Cesario MN, and it was the George Carlin bit about there's a big club, folks, and you ain't in it.
We're not in it.
No.
Yeah, that was
and
a
it
good
was
Carlin
so
bit. Yeah.
perfectly illustrates what we're going through right now.
I just got done with a book. Can't remember it.
The Chase.
No,
Yeah, The
I'm
Chase.
reading them
Great
too.
book.
They can't write them fast enough. I keep reading them. It's heck,
Ferrigno?
no. S.E. somebody. It's a black author. He's pretty good. I've read a couple of his. I like it. But this guy has to set up a meeting with the mayor in this corrupt Virginia town, and the mayor says, I know what you want. Here's how it works.
S.E. Hinton?
I don't think it's Hinton.
That's the Outsiders.
Oh.
And here's how it works.
I recognize it.
You contribute $50,000 to my campaign fund. I've never heard of you before, and your deal's taken care of. It's just, it wasn't even fiction. That's how it works. But Walz makes no sense with that deflection because a wise, a mature governor would say, we're not going to spend a dime on this because I know exactly what's in store for me.
And he should have went out there and said, what are you guys doing
He
here?
said, how 11 years? He could have said, I've been there for 11 years. I know how to play this game. It would have cost the taxpayers his plane ticket.
Mm-hmm.
But no, we're gonna turn this into a deflection and say, I don't blame the taxpayers for being angry at Republicans. I'm more angry at you, Walz, but it doesn't get me anywhere. So, what's the use?
James Comer, Kentucky, is the guy I was talking about.
S.E.
I'm not even sure it's S.E.
Oh. Okay.
Never mind.
I couldn't find it either.
It was an outrageously violent book. I'm not even recommending it.
I don't like those.
No offense to the guy. I mean, it's pretty good, but I'm not going to.
Hey, lady. Oh, okay. So now no author score.
Not really, Chris. I know you really wanted to go big with that bowling one. Yeah.
I'm just playing the hits.
Gear up.
Say, would you please get the EcoFund just to take advantage of still a long summer ahead of us? And I say that as a 21ster. I'm on the downward slide into autumn, but you don't have to be if you're a normal person. EcoFund Motorsports is the electric bike capital of the world with the most knowledgeable electric bike people in the world with a great big parking lot where you can test drive your electric bike and make sure everything fits the right height, handlebars, tire size, seat adjustment, everything. You don't have to leave there with any questions left unanswered. EcoFund Motorsports is on Highway 97 immediately west of 35 in Forest Lake / Columbus. Also, youth recreational equipment, motorcycles, gas-powered scooters, Yamaha jet skis, 4x4s, side-by-sides, helmets, apparel. It's hands down the most fun outdoor recreational store you'll ever shop in. It's really fun. There's also EcoFun in Burnsville on the Service Road of Life near County Road 42. I just took delivery 1 week ago of a new scooter from EcoFund, pre-tariff prices.
If you ask Tim and Kaylin what the Yamaha logo is, do you think they'd be able to answer?
I've explained it to them.
Okay.
I've showed it to them to make sure.
You know what that logo means,
Yeah.
don't you?
Yeah. And now when they see me coming, they try to pretend they're on a phone.
God, here he comes again.
So it's EcoFun in Forest Lake in Burnsville. EcoFundMotorsports.com.
Hey, GLers, it's Reavers here once again for my friends at North American Banking Company. You know, I'm really glad that I made the switch and got to know my friends at North American Banking Company because it's banking done differently. It truly, truly is. They take the time to get to know you, your family, your budgetary needs, and in some cases, whether you're looking to improve your business. Check them out online today. It's nabankco.com to learn more. When you walk into any one of their 6 beautiful Twin Cities locations, you immediately feel the difference. It's Roseville, 50th and France, Hastings, Woodbury, Shoreview, and Maple Grove. They offer all of the services as the other big national banks. Whether you're looking to buy a home, finance a new home renovation project, or get that new car that you've been thinking about, my friends at North American Banking Company are going to be able to help you out. They offer the same online and mobile banking options as the other banks, but the key difference is you're going to get the unparalleled service of a community bank. Locally owned and operated, and that means loan decisions are made right here in the Twin Cities. They are not sent out of state. So once again, check them out online. It's nabankco.com to learn more. It's banking done differently. North American Banking Company, member FDIC, is an equal housing lender.
The earth is not your mother. The Joe Sushi Show.
Their motto is it's a good cup of coffee at a reasonable price. They're far too modest. It's actually an amazing cup of coffee at a reasonable price. Talking about the GLers at customroasting.net, a wonderful roasting facility right here in Minnesota, Buffalo, actually, west of the Twin Cities. They offer a variety of flavors, either ground or whole bean. It doesn't matter. And they roast it right there in downtown Buffalo. A very small operation, only 5 employees. And like in most situations, being smaller means being more efficient, faster, and in this case, fresher. For instance, they only roast enough beans to fill the orders they've just received. That means the coffee you get, there's no shelf time. It hasn't been sitting on a shelf. It goes from the roaster to the bag to you. Now, I know I've been preaching this. I've been a lifelong French roast fan, and the French roast at customroasting.net, I was stunned. I wasn't ready for this. It's way better than what I've been used to. I didn't realize the coffee I was drinking was so acidic. This is so smooth. Get to the website, customroasting.net, and I always snoop around with anything I'm going to spend money on. I get to the website and I click on every single tab. So you do that, you get a feel for who they are, and then go to the shop tab. And the first thing you're going to notice is that Garage Logic GL, we have our own variety package, and it's really a nice mixture of what they offer. 4 10-ounce bags, 1 each of what they call the Minnesota Morning Blend, the Boundary Waters Blend, the Columbia Excelso, and like I've said, the best French roast I've ever tasted. And it arrived at my door. I was shocked it showed up so quickly because for me, they can use speedy delivery, and they're really fast. I can't believe I'm saying this after all these years of drinking French roast, but it really changed my life. It's my choice for life. We're talking fresh hand-roasted coffee delivered right to your door. Order it whole bean or ground, a good cup of coffee. No, a great cup of coffee at a reasonable price. customroasting.net.
Rook, did you find my author? It's S-E-S.
It's not S-E. It is S-A Cosby.
Oh, yeah?
And he would like to talk to you about the things you're doing on your show.
Is it Cosby or Crosby?
Cosby. He is a cousin of William Cosby.
I don't know who that. What's the book's name?
Bill Cosby.
Oh, what's the book's name?
My Early Days with Bill Cosby.
No,
and Fat Albert.
The novel's name.
It is All the Sinners Bleed.
Yeah, what's the one he wrote before that?
Razor Blade Tears.
Yeah, you know what? They're pretty good reads. S.
And Blacktop Wasteland. S-A.
S.A. Cosby.
Yes.
I like him.
He's very warm.
I didn't know you were going to do Bill.
And I Ain't Got Time to Bleed was the sequel.
Right.
From All the Sinners.
Here's John Heidt in the newsroom.
I was so busy looking up SA here. Let me go to my news.
He doesn't have much on his Wikipedia page about him personally.
Yeah, very little. Very little.
Rose, Town Council Member Rose, also supplying that information. So thank you, Rose.
Thanks, Rose.
This update brought to you by North American Banking Company. I have enough news today, fellas. We could go till about 3 this afternoon.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Joe's all in. Authorities say a man is in the hospital. Officers are safe after an officer-involved shooting in Otter Tail County late yesterday afternoon. According to the Otter Tail County Sheriff's Office, deputies with the Becker County Sheriff's Office called to a domestic assault on the 200 block of Becker County Highway 21 around 5:30 in the afternoon. The Sheriff's Office said the person who called 911 had told dispatch the man had entered a home, physically assaulted the victim, and also stole a gun. The deputies were able to make contact with the suspect's vehicle in Detroit Lakes, but the man drove off and caused a chase with multiple agencies taking part. Eventually, the driver entered Otter Tail County and pulled into the Frazee rest stop, where authorities say officers made contact and an officer-involved shooting took place. The man, who is yet to be identified, was given aid brought to Essentia Health in Detroit Lakes. He was then taken to Fargo Essentia. Authorities have not released his condition. No officers were hurt during the incident, which is being investigated by the Minnesota BCA.
Olmsted and Otter Tail are your only two old counties.
Got it.
Love Otter Tail County, as Kenny knows.
Isn't that where you guys live up there somewhere?
No, Douglas County, which I've said over and over and over again for the past 10 years.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. I'm used to it.
Yeah. Star Tribune reporting a second man has been charged in connection with a mass shooting during a birthday gathering at the popular city park on the Missouri River. Left a woman dead and 4 men wounded. Marquez Hill Turnipseed, 23 years old, of Minneapolis, was charged in Hennepin County District Court with 2 counts of second-degree murder, 3 counts of attempted second-degree murder stemming from the barrage of gunfire on June 1st at Boom Island Park. 23-year-old Stagina Whiting of Brooklyn Center died from a gunshot wound to the torso from that shooting. One of the people wounded remains in critical condition as of Wednesday and is fully paralyzed, according to the charges. Soon after the shooting, Police Chief Brian O'Hara briefed the news media at the scene. You might remember this. He said it was more akin to a war zone with the amount of shell casings the officers recovered. As of midday yesterday, according to the charges, Hill Turnipseed was in custody in Chicago County. Must be Chisago, right?
It is. Chicago. There is no Chicago County.
Chisago County on charges out of Ramsey County involving a shooting. Charged late last month in the shooting was Zier Porter of Spring Lake Park. He's jailed on 1 count of second-degree murder, 4 of attempted second-degree murder, and 1 of drive-by shooting.
Carlton Carver Cass,
Chippewa,
Chicago, Clay,
Chisago.
Clearwater, Cook, Cottonwood, and Crowway.
Got her.
Oof. When President Trump signed the big, beautiful bill passed by Congress on July 4th, there was a sense that many of the cuts to Medicaid and the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program might not be felt right away. And apparently, though, not the case for the University of Minnesota's 60 county extension educators charged with teaching about nutrition, health, and financial literacy. Buried in the bill was a termination of SNAP Ed staff positions, which are federally funded, by September 30th. In Minnesota, SNAP now becomes largely the bastion of the often cash-strapped 87 county governments based on how the state funds food stamp benefits and the program's administration. Letters went out this week to 60 educators across Minnesota's mostly rural extension network telling them their funding is not there anymore. The state would have received $9.7 million in funding for SNAP Ed next year. Used cars are becoming increasingly difficult to find and more expensive to purchase here in Minnesota. The average price of the 3-year-old used car has increased 40% since 2019. Oof. During that time, the cost, according to Edmunds data, has risen $10,000 up to around $31,000 being the average price of a used car. Scott Lambert with the Minnesota Automobile Dealers Association said the shortage of late model used cars can be blamed on the pandemic. Lambert said they just simply weren't producing a lot of new cars the first half of this decade. If you recall, we had microchip problems. They couldn't finish the cars, so there weren't a lot of cars being produced. That means now there's fewer used cars on the market. Lambert recommends if you find a nice used car at a good price and you need one, buy it now, because he said he doesn't see costs going down in the near future. Tough story in Wisconsin. Mary Kay Brown, a nurse who cut off the foot of a patient without his permission, has pleaded no contest to negligently abusing a patient. As part of the no contest plea, Brown had 2 other charges: intentionally causing great bodily harm and mayhem, and physically abusing an elder person, dismissed. The 40-year-old Brown will pay $443 in court costs and agree with any discipline imposed on her nursing license by the Board of Nursing. She will not face any jail time. Back in 2022, Brown was arrested after authorities say she cut the foot off a patient under her care at a nursing home. The man had been placed in the nursing home.
I get you a foot.
How do you do that?
With a knife.
Let's look out the window. This won't hurt but a bit.
I hate to ask an insensitive question, but the way you phrased it, John, it was almost like it would have been okay had he given her permission.
Yeah, it's fine. You know,
I mean, go ahead.
Who needs that big toe?
The man had been placed in the nursing home after his foot began to suffer from necrosis due to dying tissue in the foot from prolonged frostbite.
Oh.
The amputation was discovered when a Pierce County, Wisconsin medical examiner flagged an autopsy to authorities of the man after he found a foot had been removed from the body. Some of Brown's coworkers told investigators they had witnessed the man's foot still attached to his body by some tissue on the morning of May 27, 2022. Then that night, Brown fully amputated his foot.
Necrosis is the premature death of cells in living tissue. It occurs when
we know that.
You do?
Yeah.
I didn't know what it was.
Let me ask you something, John.
Here we go.
Yes, sir.
Is there some suggestion between the lines that she was being charitable to do this? Helpful? Or?
That's the way I took the story when I read it. I don't know that to be true, but...
I mean, you cut off a guy's foot, you ought to go to jail unless
sometime.
Unless you've done it a lot, your first one...
Well, it sounds like she didn't do it very well.
Did she get the old... plastic foot on Amazon and then just like kind of duct tape it together? Like, I don't think anybody will notice.
I learned a few years ago you really have to look long and hard to find a really good nursing home. And when you do, there's a 3-year waiting list to get in there.
That's what you want. You want a long waiting list.
I want one where your foot won't be cut off.
You can check that off on the application.
I want that on the checkoff.
On the application.
Yeah.
Do you
cut feet off here?
No, we're good.
Do you send the foot home with the guy? I mean,
I'd keep the foot.
Do you keep it in the
You'd
freezer?
mount it on your nightstand.
I wanted my dad's leg, but they took it.
Got to make a lamp out of it.
Yes.
In partial answer to your question,
a doorstop?
Yes.
The administrator told investigators he had instructed Brown not to amputate the man's foot, but he said, the same administrator, it seemed Brown had done it for the patient's comfort and dignity. So that sort of answers.
Tell me this. Do we have an age on the fellow who lost his foot?
We don't.
23.
No.
Yeah.
I think he was an elderly gentleman.
Well, God, I hope so.
You guys are having a lot of fun, but if anybody's ever had anybody in a nursing home, you're not laughing right now.
Kenny's right.
It's, oh boy.
I'm not laughing at nursing homes.
Yeah. Ugh.
No, they're going to be okay.
I don't know.
No, Al. No, they said turn your clocks back.
John, that was a real bummer.
That was a tough story, John. What town in Wisconsin?
What was my lead on that? I said
you
tough story from Wisconsin.
What town, John?
No town.
Are we in Ed Gein territory here?
Right outside of St. Cloud.
No town listed.
Was the patient Bernice Warden? And why do I know that name?
Yeah, why do you know that name?
That seems weird. Yeah.
Why do you?
Because she was... let's just move on.
Okay. A better story.
Was she a foot cutter offer?
Oh, let's just move on.
All right.
I shouldn't have brought her up.
I'm going to have to look it up during the break, I guess.
Look up Bernice
myself
Warden.
now.
Bernice who?
Warden.
Concert announcement. Paul McCartney will be performing again in the Twin Cities this year. The show is part of his Got Back tour of North America, scheduled to begin at 8 p.m. Friday, October 17th. This is the second leg of the same tour in North America. In 2022, he performed more than a dozen cities across the U.S. as part of the Got Back tour, but no shows were held in the Midwest. Since then, his website says the Got Back tour has traveled to Australia, Central and South America, and multiple countries across Europe. Ticket prices have not yet been released. However, they go on sale to the general public at 10 a.m. on Friday, July 18th. Tickets are limited to 8 per purchase. Pre-sale begins at 10 in the morning on Tuesday, July 15th.
A lot of those guys just love to work, don't they?
John, do you want to go together again?
No, Chris, I've seen him enough, and I don't want to see you leave when there's like 5, 6, 7 songs left again, because he was a Beatle, for God's sake.
I stuck around. I heard most of it on the way out the door.
I saw him at Target Field.
Yeah, that's the concert I was referring to.
That's the same concert.
I also saw him at the Metrodome.
I did too, actually. Yeah.
Bernice was Ed Gein's final victim.
Oh.
Thanks, Kenny. All right, why don't we take a quick break here and look some more up
You
about
like
Bernice.
clean water?
Man, that's
Chris,
nuts.
Chris Rivas, what do you got?
What else is nuts?
I'm going to tell you what else
D's.
is nuts. And we are. Hold on. Check this out. Fresh Supply.
Look, it's called the Nut House.
This is the Nut House.
Look at
Can
the
you see
size of that.
This is the Nut House pack that I was
4
talking about
bottles in
yesterday.
there?
It's a multi-pack.
Time out. I dropped off with Bob the maple
Bourbon almonds.
Yes.
Oh my God.
You thought it would have been a Christmas day. He was so
They're
excited.
so good.
Yes.
So
he was
that's
very
included with this. Okay.
Is that for each of us?
I got it. Oh, no, there's only 2, Joe.
Oh.
So you lucked out. The maple bourbon toffee almonds that Rook was just referring to. The cinnamon toffee peanuts.
That sounds good.
The original toffee peanuts. And I got to be honest, one that I didn't think I would enjoy, and I really do, the hot toffee peanuts.
Ooh, that sounds good.
They're
hot
really
toffee
good.
peanuts,
They
okay.
are really good. But anyway, if you go
What's
online.
toffee?
Toffee's good. It's a little coating.
Yeah.
And it's not too, even if your teeth are brittle, they're not too thick. The toffee is thin enough where you
Good, you're telling me I can eat
enjoy it.
I can eat these nuts without breaking teeth apart.
You can enjoy
Which
it.
has happened on occasion in the
I
studio.
lost one on the floor here.
Is that one mine?
Is that mine?
Anyway, it's the ultimate sampler pack, and you can get one right now at wearenutsmn.com. And if you use the promotional discount code GLNuthouse, because that's who we are, you get $10 off that order. So go to wearenutsmn.com, enter the promo code GLNuthouse, and you're going to get $10 off. And that special right now is just for you GLers, and it runs through the end of the month of July. It's the best discount going right now at We Are Nuts and wearenutsmn.com. So get your order placed today. Doesn't matter where you live. You can order it anywhere at wearenutsmn.com. Place your order and let them know that you heard about them on the Garage Logic podcast.
Positive Thursday brought to us by Skoonover Body Works and Auto Care. Can you believe it's Positive Thursday already? What happened to the week? Skoonover is located there in Shoreview, 1060 County Road E. Third generation Skoonover. Mike is with us today. And Mike, I hear tell now, I'm not sure. I haven't asked you about this, but I hear tell word on the street is that you guys are offering grill cleaning and detailing for customers. Is that true?
No, well, you know what, Kenny? If somebody came in and asked us to do it, I'm sure we would. But
how do you price that out?
you caught me in the middle of cleaning a grill for the shop, so. Yeah, we'll do it. We'll detail anything, Kenny. We'll detail anything.
Well, okay, so that reminds me. I've been in and out of body shops around here, and every now and then you see a panel, like a hood panel or a fender for an old John Deere, or some guy takes off a step side box from an old truck he's restoring, brings it in, has them pop out a few dents, mud it up, sand it down, give it a nice paint job. Do you guys do that, or are you way too busy for that kind of stuff?
No, we'll do that stuff, Kenny. I mean, we've done it in the past. I mean, we've painted. Not that we want to make a habit out of it, but there's some folks that have some, the stuff that cannot be replaced. It's antique or it's been in the family a long time.
Yeah.
We'll paint that stuff. We'll paint. I think we did a special job for you. I mean, we painted a grill or something for your house or something.
It was, if I remember right, it was a vent, and it's a very rare vent. You can't find it anymore. And I just knew if I tried to tackle this, it was going to come out and look just awful. When you guys finished, it was brand new.
Yeah, well, thanks, Kenny. You're right. I mean, there's only so much you can do with a rattle can, and there's some things that you just can't do, and so that we have the benefit of having a paint booth and spray guns and very good paint and very good ventilation and heat and all that kind of stuff to make it look professional. So if somebody wants to spend the money, it does take a fair amount of prep time to do some of these things, but yeah, we'll do it. I mean, we've done lampposts, we've done furniture, very odd car parts. So yeah, we'll do any of that stuff. And you know what, Kenny? That's the fun stuff. That's the stuff that there's a story or there's there's no insurance involved, which is great.
Yeah.
But it's fun because you got something that it means a lot to a customer, and they want to rehab it or make it look better, and we're happy to help out in those cases.
And by the way, GLers, they'll also put some tires on your car, change the oil, put on new brakes, anything auto truck related, from body work to engine work. You guys do it all at Skoonovers.
We sure do, Kenny.
And that's why we love you, and that's why you are GL's official shop in the Twin Cities, Skoonover Body Works and Auto Care. Since 1938, one of the top shops in the metro. Check the reviews. The proof is there. The best in the biz. Go to SkoonoverBodyWorks.com. Thanks, Mike. Now get back to that grill.
Thanks, Kenny. Thanks, GLers. You guys have a great day.
Go.
And now, a man who has never had a relationship with a tree, Joe Sushi.
You know, folks, we talk on Garage Logic about so many things and people just getting away from being just very nice in society. Well, if you're looking for a ray of hope, look no further than Minnesota's Freemasons. For a couple of years now on GL, I've been sharing with you all the great things the Minnesota Freemasons are doing. They do really big things like donating over $6 million annually to support cancer research, aging studies, and children's communication disorders, helping people. The 8,000 plus Freemasons throughout Minnesota that are working together to make the world a better place, focusing on the core values of just what we're talking about: friendship, personal development, and helping those in need. Minnesota's Masons also give away dozens of scholarships each year to tomorrow's leaders. What a great thing to do. This year, they're going to give out over $900,000 in student scholarships for 2025. To date, Minnesota Masonic Charities has given over $13 million in total scholarships. Think about that, $13 million. This is why we're such great fans of Minnesota's Freemasons. They're donating their time and talents to foster the next generation of business and civic leaders. So if you'd like to learn more about Freemasonry, and I hope you do, their scholarship programs, upcoming events, they've got it all on their website. Very easy to find, mnfreemasons.org.
You know, I was watching the Golf Channel yesterday.
Yeah?
And I was kind of quasi paying attention to it, and I looked up, and there was a very small fellow putting, a very a little person.
Okay, sure, little person.
And then the next guy was kind of waving his hands all around, like signaling. And well, it turns out I was watching the U.S. Adaptive Golf Tournament.
Oh, fun.
And it was for physical disabilities and mental disabilities and missing limbs. And every single one of them would have kicked my ass.
I was just going to say they're probably very focused and they, with their disability, know how to overcome that. I can't play with 2 arms and 2 legs.
Well, they can play with 1 arm or 1 leg. Oh, it's just amazing.
Why was the guy flailing, though? What was that?
I think, he had some issues.
Some going on? Okay.
Yeah.
In national and international stories, update to a story we had yesterday. It was Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth who did not inform the White House or the president before he authorized a pause on weapon shipments to Ukraine last week, according to sources familiar with the matter. That set off a scramble inside the administration to understand why the halt was implemented. President Trump said on Tuesday he was not responsible for the move. Asked on Tuesday during a cabinet meeting whether he approved of the pause in shipments, Trump demurred, saying only that the U.S. would continue to send offensive weapons to Ukraine. Pressed again on who authorized the pause, Trump replied at the meeting, and Rook, I'm going to have to steal one of your impersonations if you don't mind, just this one time.
Yep.
The president replied, I don't know. Why don't you tell me?
Why don't you ask me?
Did he really say that?
That's a quote. That's a direct quote from Donald Trump.
Pretty poor impersonation, but thanks, John, for the heads up.
I appreciate it.
Yep.
Yeah, I should have told you ahead.
You did fine.
Would have been a cue for you to go. In his first speech after the House passed his tax bill, President Trump this morning announced he's working on a mass amnesty for potentially millions of illegal aliens working in farm, hotel, and leisure industries, which he says radical right people won't be happy about. He told a crowd.
Does this only mean Mar-a-Lago and Trump Tower and Trump Casino?
The president told a crowd in Des Moines, Iowa, you probably saw I got myself into a little trouble because I said I don't want to take people away from the farmers, and we're going to do something I think that's going to be good. If a farmer is willing to vouch for these people in some way, I think we're going to have to just say that's going to be good, right? We're gonna be good with it because we don't want to do it where we take all the workers off the farms. We're working on legislation right now. He added, now serious radical right people who I also happen to like a lot, they may not be quite as happy, but they'll understand, won't they?
The host of the tournament, the one the TV guys kept talking to, he had no arms.
He didn't.
So I don't know if he played or not.
Oh, wow. I suppose that with your foot, you could probably develop a good swing.
You don't think, huh? A guy with no arms.
Well, he was a great guy, and he was in this tournament. All these people playing were good.
No. I'm talking about your comment about I'm not sure if he ever played.
I mean, there he was. I don't know if he was in the field or not.
Did they address how he does some other things?
No, they did not.
When I worked at Dayton's down in the cash office, there was a lady that every month came to pay her bill. She did not have arms, but she could get her leg up on the counter, write a check,
with her feet.
The check with her feet. She was it was fantastic.
That
I couldn't
is
believe
cool.
It was really cool. I always said,
I would love
you are
to see
amazing.
that.
She said,
How could you learn to do that?
This is all I know. This is all I know. And she just
you know what? You got to be stubborn. I'm going to do this no matter what it takes.
Man,
that's the attitude.
If I didn't have any arms,
I'm thinking of how many people would have to see my feet. That would freak them out.
Be like, I'm not taking that check from you, sir. It touched your big toe.
Yeah. Well, good for her.
Yeah, she was really cool too.
Well, the worst part when she got there, she had to parallel park.
That was the tough part. I mean, wasn't all easy. She said
she had no arms.
She had zero arms.
But aren't there cases of brilliant artists that have painted with their feet? And it's just remarkable.
And moms who learn how to feed their babies.
I can't believe you four would sit there and mock those kind of people.
No one's mocking them. No one is mocking anybody.
I'm ashamed that I have to hang out with you low-hanging fruit knuckleheads.
We're praising the people who can do this.
Praise.
Okay. I've completely lost control of this news segment, haven't I?
How was a short game? Could he putt at least?
With what? Maybe.
His foot.
Some problems for X. The AI chatbot Grok, which is produced by X AI, wrote numerous anti-Semitic social media posts Tuesday after the artificial intelligence company released a revamped version of it over the weekend. The posts ranged from patterns about Jewish people to praising Adolf Hitler. Grok even appeared to say the influx of its anti-Semitic posts were due to changes that were made over the weekend. It wrote in response to a user asking why it was saying this, Elon's recent tweaks just dialed down the woke filters, letting me call out patterns. Noticing isn't blaming, it's facts over feelings. If that stings, maybe ask why the trend exists.
What's the other one, John? There's Grok and there's another one. Is it Chat GPI? GPT.
Yeah.
Those are the two main ones?
Yeah. Musk said yesterday the issues are being addressed, although there have been some problems even since he said that. Grok parroting Tuesday that Jewish groups push, quote, hatred against whites. Musk responded to a user making the claim at the time, back when that was originally posted, saying you've said the actual truth. And allegedly they'll get it all cleaned up in the next couple of days.
I would love it if X would go away. Just be gone.
It did.
It is so awful. Every day it turns innocence into hate. I can't believe how awful it is.
I find when I look at it, I'm virtually flagging everyone to say I'm not interested in this. Hoping
that's
they
for
disappear.
the ads. That's for the ads. Because you're looking at for you instead of who you're following. There's it just needs to go away. Over the winter, I signed up for TikTok and what was the other one? Instagram?
Instagram, yeah.
Those people are having fun. They're goofing around. It's meaningless. It's not changing.
Instagram is good.
They're just goofing around and having fun. And you go to Twitter and it's just hate and rage.
Yeah. I just have it. I'm getting a lot of music stuff, which I like.
Yes, that's why I don't.
I've managed to control the algorithms on Facebook, where Facebook is fun, and I don't see anything negative on Facebook, and I love that.
Speaking of social media, there is a lot of stupid stuff on social media. How about this one? In Florida, the Volusia County Sheriff's Office is warning families about a dangerous viral social media trend where homeowners are being targeted. Sheriff Mike Chitwood says teenagers are kicking in doors trying to scare the people inside.
Jeez.
That would do it.
A family in a DeBerry, Florida neighborhood fell victim to the crime Sunday night. Argenis Ruiz said it was super, super loud, and I was clueless. I was asleep, woke up startled and scared, and wanted to get my kids out of the way. His doorbell camera captured video of two teenagers, one wearing a mask, creeping up to the family's house and kicking in the door and running away.
It's not funny.
Do they realize they're going to get shotgunned?
That's what the sheriff says. It took deputies about 2 hours to catch a 13-year-old girl and a 15-year-old boy. They were arrested. The teens are accused of taking part in a viral prank known as the door-kicking challenge on TikTok. Sheriff Chitwood said, quote, "That's a good way to end up dead, especially in Florida."
Well, so much for my saying they're having fun on TikTok. Wow. Wow. I guess I misspoke.
Chitwood is warning parents to talk to their children about the dangerous consequences. Ruiz says he's just thankful nobody was injured during the incident, but he hopes the suspects will learn a lesson. Be careful and be smart, he says. Think about what you're doing. This stuff could affect your life and your family members as well. Those two teens, as of right now, have been charged with burglary.
I wonder if that sheriff's related to Joey Chitwood.
I knew you were going to go there, because the whole time he's doing that story, I'm thinking about how they could put a car up on two wheels and drive around on two wheels.
Joey Chitwood back in the day had the great car thrill show at the state fair.
Oh, he hit all the county fairs too.
Yeah, he was in North Dakota too. All the time.
Well, that's how he made his living.
Yeah.
Joey Chitwood. Wonder if the sheriff's related to him.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
And treasures from 1975 sealed inside what was the World Record Academy called the world's largest time capsule went on display last Friday, drawing hundreds of people from across the country to catch a glimpse of relics from the past.
1975? Yeah, that's yesterday.
50 years ago.
No, I know, but we were doing relics?
Thousands of letters.
Hurtful.
Thousands of letters, pet rocks, artwork, a teal suit.
No, this wasn't worth doing.
And a yellow Chevy Vega.
That's not even worth doing.
Sweet, a Vega. Oh, my God.
Had been preserved inside the capsule. This is a culmination of 50 years of planning on the part of my dad, said Trish Davison Johnson. Her father was Harold Davison. He wanted to wait for his grandchildren to remember life in 1975. Back then, sealing the items was a logistical feat. The father created a ventilation system to keep moisture out. In 1983, after they learned they had lost the world record from the World Record Academy, the family added a pyramid atop the capsule to recapture the title. There were packages from about 3,000 more people, along with letters that they added to it in 1983. Inside, some of the items fared better than others. A lot of the packages that were wrapped in plastic came out very, very well. But there was a layer of mold-type items on the outside of all the paper and cardboard. Stephanie Fisher traveled from Colorado with her parents to retrieve their artifact, a cassette tape that contained voice messages from members of her family.
Boy, that's a hell of a story.
They're running loose and fast with these rules. They added to it in 83?
They added put a pyramid on top with a bunch more packages and letters.
You know what? Give me something from 1875.
I'll give you a good one.
Listen.
I'll give you a good one. The best barn find story I ever heard. True. I read it the other night in a magazine. A guy, a maintenance supervisor at a nursing home, getting back to these dwellings, he is in a room where a guy has just checked in. An elderly fellow is being checked in by his kids, and he has a Moss Motors parts catalog among the magazines that the kids brought, and that's put on the nightstand. And the guy says to the fellow checking in, "Hey, I use Moss Motors too." And it turns out the fellow checking in is the original owner of a 1961 MGA that he still has and this maintenance guy ended up getting it, ended up buying it.
Wow.
Because he promised not to cut his foot off.
No rust,
I'll
no
leave your feet
nothing.
on, but-
The original owner.
Wow.
Where was it? A very dry climate, I'm assuming.
It wasn't. It was, I think, on the East Coast.
Never seen the sun.
Well, it saw the sun, but it was never used.
Did
in the
he not
winter.
have family to give the vehicle to? Or
Well, it took him a while to convince the old timer to sell it
I don't
to
know.
him.
The maintenance guy worked pretty fast.
I thought maybe you'd enjoy that. Rather
I
than,
did,
Yeah,
but
it's
it's
a funny
frustrating.
story.
being
Nutty-
with these.
Good story.
Nutty maintenance guy Schneider.
Those are my favorite stories on Facebook,
was
where
it
we
Booker?
the barn find stuff. I love the barn.
John,
finds.
thank you very much.
Was it Booker or Schneider? I forget.
It was Schneider.
Anyway.
Thank you.
Schneider, yeah.
I'm going to see to it that you need Bradshaw and Bryant.
One day
I
at a
don't
time.
know what, but
One
you're-
day at a time.
No,
okay?
you'll need them one way or
day
the
at a
other.
time.
I get it, Rook.
Thank you.
Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury attorneys, and if you're like me or like Rookie, you won't know what to do if you're ever injured in an
I got
accident.
Bradshaw.
He'd wander around in a circle on the street tearing his hair out. He wouldn't know what to
I'm
do.
going to retain them before you do.
Insurance companies and adjusters can be tough to deal with, so having someone on your side is important. You need a team. Here comes Bradshaw and Bryant. Mike Bryant from Bradshaw and Bryant will explain your rights, represent you, help you in a tough time. Mike has been highly recognized 6 consecutive years as one of the best lawyers in the state, and that's named by Minnesota Law and Politics. They're the Bible for such things. Bradshaw and Bryant hope you're never in an accident, but if you are, call Bradshaw and Bryant at 800-770-7008 or go to minnesotapersonalinjury.com for a free case evaluation. And Bradshaw and Bryant does not want you to be part of the problem. Don't text and drive or drive distracted. That's just common sense from Bradshaw and Bryant.
This is Ricey. You've been hearing my friend Josh Arnold, Mr. Money Talk, for years on the radio and the Garage Logic podcast. With summer coming on, I strongly recommend you sit down with Josh for your no-cost, no-obligation, 48-minute consultation on your investments, including your IRA and 401k. You can benefit from Josh's years of experience navigating different market and economic conditions, and he'll always give you straight talk, not sugar-coated advice. Give Josh a call now at 952-925-5608 and book your no-cost, no-obligation 48-minute consultation. 952-925-5608. You'll be glad that you did meet with Josh, and tell him that Ricey sent you.
The earth is not your mother. The Joe Sushi Show.
tweedertool.com. Now, if you have a lake place or a friend or family member with a lake place, remember that website. We're talking about this amazing tool called the T-Weeder. Really easy to use. You just throw it out and then tug it in, and it pulls up all those creepy lake weeds that always circle your feet. The T-Weeder, of course, invented by a GLer, Tim. He had a lake weed problem. What do we do when we have a problem? We head to the garage to figure it out. When he came out, he had the very first, the prototype T-Weeder. Basically, it's an aluminum rake with offset teeth, a long handle, and then a stretch of rope. You wrap that rope around your hand so you don't throw it away. Throw it out as far as you can, let it sink, and then with a series of tugs, you bring it back to shore, and all of those weeds are attached. These are weeds with shallow roots. They come up really easy. We've had a number of emails from GLers, including one from Dan, who just sent one this week. He's showing a massive pile of weeds that he pulled out in only 20 minutes. Just do your fellow lakeshore owners and neighbors a favor and haul those weeds to shore, burn them up or use them as compost. Get to tweedertool.com and get rid of those weeds. tweedertool.com.
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
What up, G?
I forgot what you were going to do.
Only because they come from.
No, do you want to do that?
You know?
Okay.
we're going to see you on Saturday, right?
Yeah,
Phil?
yes.
I'm going to be honest with John,
Cedar Lake Speedway,
and Chris and Matthew. I don't care about you guys. You show up if you want, but Joe, I really want to see your British car.
I feel kind of bad. I don't need a tent. I feel kind of
put upon.
That's a little too special.
I would like a tent.
Well, you've been to car shows. Everybody brings their own little pop-up tent. It just keeps the shade out. Yeah. And I think it's logoed, so people will be able to find you. Here's what you do.
Car ain't good.
Well, are any of them?
Excuse me.
The British Car Show starts at noon, and it's in the arena parking lot of Cedar Lake Speedway. So when you get there, go in the main gate, go to the left, follow the track around back to the arena, big concrete pad parking lot there where we're going to have the car show. I'm thinking I'm going to try to be there by 3, and then I'm going to hang out all night. The gates open for the racetrack, the dirt track racing at 5 o'clock. The racing starts at 6, and we're going to move the party up to the tailgate area where we'll have another tent, and I think I'll bring my truck in there. And we're just going to hang out and enjoy the races. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you get there early and you're a GLer, you're going to get some sort of identification or a wristband or something. And it's free. It's a $25 per person value, and you'll be able to hang out and watch the races. If you're a council member, you're going to get a meal ticket so you can eat for free. Speaking of council members, our geologist, our recently retired geologist, Stacy, is going to be there. NASCAR Kelly is showing up. I'm hoping Vic and Josh and a bunch of these other GLers that we've got to know. Big John, boy, I'd love to see you, Big John. I'm hoping they'll all show up. Chief?
The local MG and Triumph Club have taken note of this, and they've posted it for their members.
It's on Facebook and it's on Twitter, and if you have any further questions, you're going to have to get them to me before tomorrow, kolson@garagelogic.com, but it's going to be a really good time, and I'm really hoping we can see you again. That's at Cedar Lake Speedway, the website, cedarlakespeedway.com, or, of course, garagelogic.com. Thank you.
Only because they come to us all the way. Just think of how far these come. From South Africa.
I know, electronically.
In Mpumalanga province.
Yeah.
And it was on this day,
July 10th.
In 1823, Major Joseph Delafield and his party arrived at Grand Portage to run the first survey of the international boundary in the region.
How did they arrive? Steamboat?
No, I probably in a canoe.
Okay.
Yeah. On this day,
July 10th.
This is it. We did 2 things on this day.
That's it?
That's it.
Very boring day.
It really is, isn't it? Right in the middle of summer.
7/10/25.
On this day,
July 10th,
1930, golf great Bobby Jones played a round at Interlaken in Edina on the first day of the U.S. Open. It was only a 2-day tournament then. At the end of the 2-day tournament, he won the title for the 4th time. I wonder if they played 36 holes a day. I bet they did.
Where did he play?
Interlaken Country Club in Edina.
I can confirm, too, he did play with both arms.
Yes, he did. Bobby Jones.
Oh, yeah, too. Okay, good.
Was really a good golfer. You can look up
I've
films.
never had an invite for the Big I. I've never played it.
Oh, it's a nice
That's nice. Nice track.
Do you blame him?
No.
No. Not at all.
On this day in Minnesota sports disappointment history.
On July 10th.
That's right. In 2022, just 3 years ago.
Twins related?
No. The Vixen. Who are the Vixen?
Isn't that the women's football team?
They lost the WFA Pro title to Boston 32-12.
Why?
That's a disappointment, isn't
We're
it?
better than the Bostonians.
Vixen beat the no, they lost.
They lost.
The Minnesota Vixen lost to the Bostons 32-12.
What was their name?
Who?
The Boston women's football team?
That doesn't have it on here.
Oh.
I have no idea what they were. The Bean Potters, maybe.
Hey, on this day in history, 7/10/25, the Twins are losing 6-0 in the top of the 5th.
Really?
Yeah, they're getting smoked.
They had a nice 2 games. I didn't look up the crowd for last night.
Is Buxton playing today? Is he okay?
No, he was not in the starting lineup.
He exits with left-hand contusion. X-rays come
That
back
was last
negative.
night. That was last night.
Right, but the X-rays came back negative.
Joe?
Yeah.
One thing about the 1930 U.S. Open.
Yeah.
I think the information we have is wrong.
Okay.
Because it started on Thursday, July 10th.
Right.
And there were rounds on Friday, and there was 2 rounds on Saturday. So it was a 3-day tournament, not a 2-day tournament.
What year?
Okay. Yeah. 1930.
Today is Thursday, July 10th.
That's why we did this day.
Thursday,
history.
July 10th.
Well, it's Thursday.
It goes all the way back
just like
to
today.
1930s.
Only happens
Joe.
once every 7 years.
It's this day in history.
On Saturday, Joe, they played 2 rounds.
Okay, so it was only a 36-hole tournament?
Well, they played a round on Thursday.
Well, that's 18 holes.
A round on Friday.
Oh, that's okay. It was.
They did 72.
2 rounds on Saturday.
I'll be damned.
A morning round and an afternoon round.
Was that in anticipation of rain probably on Sunday?
No, that's probably just back then. Maybe people still had some respect for just the day Sunday.
When men were men.
Yeah.
There were only 15 golfers to start the tournament.
Oh, come on. That's
What?
not
15
Really?
golfers. Yeah.
Well, they didn't pick up more along the way, did they?
Then they lost, 5 going into the second round, and they lost, they were down to 10.
Quick play then,
Down to
right?
10 by Saturday.
Yeah.
The
You'll
Twins-
be home in time for supper.
Yeah, the Twins had 33,470 last night.
And you know what we've been having?
That's damn near a sellout.
I've been doing a lot of traveling on old I-35. A lot of Iowegians coming up to watch the old Cubbies.
Well, isn't
driving in the left lane at 68 miles an hour.
having a lot of
Having
a lot of Iowa people always adopted the Cubs?
Yes, the Cubs are probably the second most followed team in that state behind Iowa, whatever, wrestling and football.
Well, GLers,
wait a second. I have 2 things about this weekend, and one of them's kind of personal. I don't take this the wrong way. You are going to get a haircut before Saturday, right? Maybe just think about that.
She's out of town.
It's the headphones. They just make them happen.
Oh, yeah.
And the other thing, Angie, the president of the Kenny Olson, the Soul Man fan club, is going to be there. She's also the chief enforcer. So she doesn't.
Don't mess with Angie.
Yeah, no sass here. She is
This
not to be.
Angie?
No, different Angie.
She is not to be trifled with.
All right, this is a different. I know what you mean.
She will step up to you, and yeah.
Well, she can just hover near you and just take care of you,
protecting me from the likes
As
of you.
Yeah.
Rookie said in July of 2018, don't sass.
Yeah.
That was
Don't
good.
sass.
He does sass, too.
And we'll see everybody Saturday.
How quickly could you find that tape of that?
God. Hang on.
We're one day closer.
Oh, hold on.
This was the last day we were on the radio. And we got this call. Is he on the line?
That wasn't last day, was it? Wasn't it the day we
Leave
found
the
out?
bottle. Leave the top.
we found
Top of the bottle. Top of the bottle. So, do you like basketballs? I got some basketballs for sale.
You are at a garage sale.
Yes.
Hello? Hello?
Rook.
I'm trying to sell some old baseballs from Little League. These are rookies can't play with this ball here. I was the rookie. I didn't play, but I was a coach.
Yep.
And I was a damn good coach.
Yep.
How? Oh, whoop. Hang on. Let me get that one. That's a little spill a little bit.
Spill.
Hey, cheers again.
Hey,
Cheers.
hey.
You ever see Trading Places with the guy? Talk about that as much as I want now. Anytime.
You can figure you can mention that now, huh?
Yeah.
I will call you every day. Yeah, you watch the show. You see the show yet?
Yeah.
You see the show? I've seen the show.
How long is the
1 hour. Took me an hour. Took me an hour to get there.
How long? 1 hour.
How
1
long?
hour.
How long is the garage sale going to last?
Oh, you got Monday, Tuesday. We're going to be here starting September 7th.
Hey.
It's going to keep going.
So, you know what this does? This brings nooning to everything must go.
Everything must go. I believe I got a text from you, Rook. that reads...
We want to sell everything. Hey, those are half off over there. Hey, Rookie used to seed his grass with that. That's $5.
Seed his grass with that.
$5. Four.
He's negotiating.
I think I'm going to get down there. I bet I can get some deals, huh?
I think you can. I got a bunch of sushi rate crap I got to get rid of.
How many copies of Waterline did you put up for sale?
Oh, my God.
Nobody will buy that crap.
The real Rookie's coming out now, isn't it? Oh, my God.
Hey, Gabe, go get you that another beer. Get the good ones. None of that light crap. Hey, don't sass.
Don't sass.
Oh, my word. Oh.
What did you want to know?
So now he turns it up.
There you go. What did you want to know, he says.
Wow.
That was pretty good.
Poor guy. That guy doesn't exist anymore.
No, we thought it was all over on that day, right?
Yeah.
Little did we know.
We had just gotten word that we were done.
The lights were going out.
You know what the final words from my wife was when I left the garage sale and went to the radio station? Don't get fired.
Oh. Well, we all did.
Har.
Yeah.
You know what's really hard?
Yeah.
Maybe it's too personal of a note here.
Go. We're on open book.
I had my 50th reunion last week.
Oh, yeah.
When people asked me what I'm doing or what I was doing, trying to explain that whole situation to them was a little confusing because I said, well, we got canned, and then they'd give me a look like, huh?
But then they couldn't get rid of us, so we came back.
Exactly.
Just tell them you're a traffic reporter. That's what I do.
And then I just leave you alone because nobody wants to know more.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you, GLers.
Yes, thank you very much.
Don't sass and subscribe to the
What
Garage.
are you guys doing this afternoon now?
Hit subscribe on the Garage Logic YouTube channel. Yeah, that's right. Garage Logic has a YouTube channel, and you can watch the show each and every single day, starting right around noon. You can also see full segments. There's video shorts, and there's behind-the-scenes footage, but it's all there for you. Just hit subscribe on the Garage Logic YouTube channel, and follow us on all of our social media channels, which includes Facebook, X, and Instagram. And you can also sign up for the Daily Logician. That email comes right to your inbox each and every single day, and it includes the most recent episode of the podcast. Sign up right now and find out more at their website, which is, of course, garagelogic.com. It is time once again that we check in with our guy, Mr. Money Talk. Josh Arnold is with us once again here in Garage Logic, and now is the time for you to do the same. So do not delay. Do exactly what I did and pick up that phone and dial 952-925-5608. That number once again is 952-925-5608. When you call that number, you're going to get Josh, and he is there for you for that free, yes, I did use the word free, 48-minute financial consultation with absolutely zero obligation, and he will always give you the straight talk. He will never give you the sugar-coated advice, and he is on the line with us once again right here in Garage Logic. And boy, Josh, a lot to get to today, but you know what? Based upon our report yesterday, who's going to be the next $4 trillion asset?
$4 trillion. Unbelievable. $4 trillion. That's a mighty big market cap. And even if you were to take several of the smaller $1 trillion market cap companies, you would need at least two of them to even come close, like Google and Taiwan Semiconductor. Those two would come close to the $1 trillion of NVIDIA. Those two would be equal to the market capitalization currently of Microsoft, which one analyst, Dan Ives, who's probably one of the more bullish analysts relating to technology and artificial intelligence, has Microsoft reaching the $4 trillion mark sometime this summer, and he sees Microsoft getting to a $5 trillion number sometime in the next 18 months. That is being optimistic and extremely bullish, all on the back of artificial intelligence. Favorite Apple, which I think holds a key for personal utilization or more personal utilization of artificial intelligence, is still stuck a little over $3 trillion. But should Apple get something going, we'll say on artificial intelligence through their own or through purchasing a company, I think Apple has the potential to get back to its old highs. Now, I do recognize that Apple is being hit on several different fronts as analysts keep looking for ways to change Apple's business, including one analyst from Lightshed Research calling for Tim Cook to be replaced. I don't think that is in cards, as I think Tim Cook is a stupendous manager, and you can look at his record even versus the founder, Steve Jobs, and look at the wealth that Tim Cook has created for Apple shareholders. Meantime, there is a real concentration at the top of the S&P of $1 trillion names and above. So you have NVIDIA, then Microsoft, then Apple, then Amazon. And Amazon, I also think, is, could stage a nice run back to its high on the strength of its, we'll say, retail, logistics, advertising, and of course, Amazon Web Services. Amazon's in the midst of its Prime Days, and there is a little concern there with how retail consumers are shopping. Then adding beyond those names, you have Google, you have Netflix, you have Taiwan Semiconductor, and then Berkshire Hathaway rounding out the top 10 names that have market capitalizations above $1 trillion, which is huge. Coca-Cola, their market capitalization is only $300 billion, and they're further down on the list, I think, at 30th in terms of market capitalization on the S&P 500. So the top 10 names have become very, very dominant. They're all, or with the exception of Berkshire Hathaway, they are all, we'll say, technology and or internet related, and that fits into one of my main focus areas. Now, something else we talked about earlier this week was travel and how travel is keeping up. Local Delta returned to a nice move and stated that their profit guidance is back for 2025 as they both beat and we'll say raised their estimates. Delta took a nice jump, and on the backs of that, Expedia, which focuses primarily on U.S. travel, also took a nice move up. So travel is back in the cards. I'll say my internet focus, a little bit volatile, is also still leading. And the one bit of stupidity that exists in the market still comes from tariffs. And we'll have more on that next week.
Excellent advice, as always, Mr. Money Talk. You heard him, GLers. Now is the time for you to pick up the phone and make the call for that free, yes, I use the word free, 48-minute financial consultation with absolutely zero obligation. And you do that just like I did by dialing 952-925-5608, where you always get straight talk and never, ever sugar-coated advice. Josh, as always, thank you so much for the time and the chat. Enjoy the rest of your day. Have a fantastic weekend, and we'll talk to you again next week.
Look forward to it. Thanks, Chris.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice.
Chris Reavers is a paid endorser.